Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for XRP and SPX 6900 and Bnb price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. We're gonna start with XRP here on the daily, where we have the all-time history, where we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave A or wave 1, followed by a W, X, and a Y. Your wave Y is a triangle here, A, B, C, D, E finished, and we have an impulse, probably finished 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Still looking for a wave 5 here, but it is also, there is another possibility where we probably have finished a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna see both scenarios right now on the lower time frame. If we move to the daily here, we can see the first scenario where you might have finished a wave 1 in this scenario where you have a 1, 2, wave 3, and your wave 4 is kind of like a triangle here, A, B, C, D, and an E, and starting, of course, an impulse internally as a wave 5. If we dive a little bit inside it, you will see, of course, after this potential wave E there that we have finished for a triangle, you might have a leading diagonal as a wave 1 here, wave 2, 3, 4, and a 5, that it might have finished a wave 5 towards the upside there. And in this case scenario, therefore, we are looking at a potential finished wave 1, meaning if you are in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 towards higher prices here, that it might be unfolding, of course, very, very soon, I would say, once you finish this correction. This correction is of course very complex, and especially of course with this wick, where you can see the wick has reached already the perfect targets here for a wave 2. That means, of course, very likely that XRP already reached the price for a bear market, but all what we need here is the timing. We need to finish the time required for this correction and then start the move toward the upside. By all means, if this is an A, B, and a C, you are looking for a wave C to be finished over there, potentially 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as diagonal, or it can be, of course, an impulse. We're gonna dive inside it. In case it is a W, X, and a Y, the wave Y can be even a triangle to reach, of course, the time required for this. Now, if we take also a time here, a fib time taken from there for a wave C, let's say, of course, as a regular flat, for example, you will need at least the minimum fib time 0.618 here to be reached inside this blue box over there. And that means, of course, perfection can be around there. And I think that this might be unfolding something much more longer, a little bit in time here. It can be, of course, something as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 diagonal unfolding. And it might be here expanding diagonal. And that because, of course, wave 3 in zigzag is longer than the wave 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 somehow. And then pushing probably toward the upside after all, once reaching this area within the fib time and the blue box. So this is one possibility, of course, where very likely that we are in a wave 2 here because of the deep correction, and this wick, of course, has already hit perfectly the fib levels. In another possibility, it is the wave 4, meaning the impulse here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, is not finished. This is not what it's happening here, 1, 2, 3. And let's say the wave 4 is still unfolding and looking for a wave 5 later on to, of course, push higher. Now, this wave 4, in case you are in ABC, probably expanding flat here, 1, 2. And then, of course, this is, ABC here finished as a zigzag. Wave 1, wave 2, 3, 4, and a 5. I'm expecting, of course, a truncation here. However, of course, even despite that the invalidation is very, very low here, it still can be, of course, a wave 4, but it is much more likely there that we are in a wave 2 rather than a wave 4, meaning the previous scenario is much more likely than this one. However, both works with the same thing at the end. You need to finish the structure within the time and so on, but I still believe that this one is much more suitable, especially that we dive deeper and we are aiming probably here for the 0.38, very likely for this scenario for XRP. Now, if we dive a little bit inside this scenario where we are looking here at a potential wave C to be done and finished, well, the wave C, therefore, if you are in an A, B, and a C, the wave C can be, as we mentioned, kind of like a diagonal, can be 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So I'm still looking probably here for the one more leg toward the downside, reaching the perfect fib time and the perfect fib level. In case you are in a W, X, and you're looking for a wave Y, well, the wave Y can be something as a triangle here, very strong wave A, B, C, D, and an E, and of course the time is reached, and of course we start to move toward the upside. Internally on the 1 hour chart for XRP here, if we take a look, we see something impulsive. We can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 there already finished for XRP. And of course, what we are looking after it here is potentially something very sideways and very corrective. Yeah, so we didn't took the high here and we start to drop, meaning very likely you are in an A, B, and a C unfolding still toward the downside. What is very interesting to watch is, of course, the 1-to-1 fib level here. In case we are in a zigzag, 1-to-1 fib level is our key level here to be watched for the $2.13. And it can be, of course, very likely an A, B, and a C there unfolding. If we break it, if we break this wave or this level, we might, of course, still push for lower. But I think that this is not the case because, of course, this look very nice impulse. But I think that if it dives deeper than 1-to-1 fib level, of course, then we have to start to think about something else unfolding there. Especially, of course, if we did not reach yet the 0.38, by the way. Meaning, if we are in a wave 1, 2 here, very likely even to take, of course, this blue box. Okay, so probably in case we are in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, we can be in something as a wave 1, 2, and then, of course, as an impulse to unfold toward the upside. So if we break it, of course. If not, it can be, of course, an A, B, and a C still looking here as a corrective wave. And, of course, this what it might be this count, all right, in brackets white. So we're going to estimate, of course, what's going to happen on the lower time for XRP. But currently, I see, of course, lower prices. We got a signal, of course, 1-to-1 fib level, and probably even this target as a blue zone. We're going to see the reaction if we get, of course, something towards the upside. What we got there is already a signal that, yes, there is something finishing over there as a potential impulse, and we might, of course, see higher prices. But what I don't like in this wave 5 here is that I don't see internally still, of course, a clear wave 5, unless maybe if we go 15-minute chart as well. Yeah, it's a little bit hard to see, of course, a wave 5 there. Okay, so 1, 2, and you have kind of like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What is the second 4 and a 5? Is it there? Is this as well? We didn't took the high, but is it truncated, for example? Here is the question mark as well. For example, is it like a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 diagonal truncated? 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, because it still can be possible, but truncation meaning failing to take the high. That is a weakness signal. Yeah, it's a weakness signal, and if this happens, it can be, of course, something corrective then. So we gotta be careful, of course. We're gonna watch anyway the reaction there, but very likely that we drop down, of course, to this area, $2 or around it, and then we estimate the price from there. That was it for XRP. Let's see Binance. For Binance as well, we're gonna go all-time history first. So for Binance, we are looking at a very massive chart here, which is very bullish. Wave 1 or a wave A, 2, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. And this was the wave 5 unfolding toward the upside. Whether a wave 3 or a wave C, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. If you dive inside it a little bit much clearer here, you can see, of course, a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Your wave 4 is a triangle as well. And then we push the last move here. Now we start to move downward in a motive wave, leading diagonal very likely, which it can be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for your wave A, looking for a wave B and a wave C to finish up a wave 4 here in the blue count in case we are in a wave 4, which is between the 0.23, $348. Is this is the case scenario that it's gonna be? We're gonna watch, of course, step by step. But if we move inside it, So on the 2 hours chart inside here, we can see a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 leading diagonal wave 1, wave 2, and then continuation toward the downside. I would like to see, of course, the wave 2 at the 0.38 fib level, minimum requirement $984. I think this is what is going on there for Binance. If we dive inside it, you can see here something moving as, of course, diagonal as well. We have leading diagonal wave A and potential wave B and a wave C still be to unfold here, probably, well, as 1, 2, 3, wave 4 and a 5 can be, but we be careful, the invalidation of bullish. Yeah. So this is a key level where 869, where it might, of course, invalidate this impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So what I'm looking at right now is this count, okay, for this impulse, and probably can be very likely an ABC there. So we gotta be careful, okay. In case that we don't reach the area, as of course wave 2 there, and it ends up, so very likely even to get 3 ways up, 3 ways down, and then of course 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 later on to finish a wave 2, because anyway the time is required, okay, for this wave 2. If we are looking for the time here taken from the zone 1, we get a wave 2 timing. You see that yes, we need a lot of time still, of course, to range in this area upward, correctively even, to get a wave 2. So yeah, we might see, of course, a drop, a simple drop for wave 4. It can be, of course, 3 ways down, 3 ways up for a wave B, wave C expanding flat, and then we push for higher sooner or later. 15-minute chart as well. Yes, this is very, very impulsive, of course, but it can be very, very fast. And that because, of course, you have already a very long range here that you got for this expanding flat. And it might be, of course, here unfolding as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, probably. Well, probably finished even. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Your wave 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In case this is a 1, 2 that we start to move and push higher here, can be, guys. So we gotta be careful. Let me check also the fib level here for a wave C in an expanding flat. Well, yes, we are in the perfect box actually. That was very fast. Yes, so and yeah, we might have finished it, guys. So if we're gonna push for higher before invalidation 869 here, that might be it's the scenario. Okay, wave 5. So target, I would say as well for a wave 5 might be taken here as yeah, 0.618 and 1-to-1 fib level. Yeah, very likely 925, 939, or around it. Yep, so this is regarding Binance. Let's see, the last one that we have today is SPX 6900. So for SPX, we're gonna go also a little bit all-time history to explain where are we. So we have a 1, 2 here as a leading diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. You have a wave 2 given and followed by another leading diagonal wave, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Finished wave 3 in the blue count here, 1, 2, 3, and you're looking for wave 4. Perfect targets, by the way, 0.23. Even not hit perfectly, so very likely even to come back, maybe. But internally, I would say that we have finished a correction almost, where you might have an WX and a Y or ABC much more likely. Because I am looking here at 5 waves down, finished in the blue box, a perfect target for a wave 2 after an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And this is, of course, a very nice 1, 2 to push for higher. And currently, we see, of course, a reaction for SPX here on the lower time frame. We see a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then wave 3, which it is, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finished. And you're looking at a wave 4 probably here and still looking for higher. The wave 5 blue box, as you can see, which is interfering as well with the 2.618, where you might see here a very extended wave 3, which is 1, 2, 3 here. Yeah, and this might be, of course, there unfolding. So I'm still expecting a wave 5, honestly. I don't see yet a finished correction. Now, it can be that what's going on here is something as an ABC correction for a wave 4. So if I take the fib level as well, in this case, wave 4, we have reached the 0.23. but unfortunately we reach it only as a potential as a potential diagonal as well. So it can be still an A, B, and a C here unfolding. I'm still looking for one more low, probably inside this blue zone for this wave 4. Okay. Internally as well, well, yeah, if it is double 1 2, this might be the thing. Yeah, so if we have 1 2 1 2, wave 3 4 5 4 5, this might be the things. And then of course pushing for higher again for SPX at a wave 5 around 0.85 and 0.91 dollars. Very interesting also that it is interfering with the invalidation of any kind of bearish scenario, meaning the 0.89. Why? Because in case that this is going to transform to 1 2 3, since this is an impulse, 1 2 3 4 is not allowed to interfere with the zone 1. If we come to this area, it confirms that we finished 3 waves corrective and we're pushing higher again. That's why it is very essential to take the 0.89 as invalidation of any kind of bearish scenario. That was it for SPX, XRP, and what else? BNB. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments. See you in the next one. Bye bye.